Hello, YouTubers. This is Bird Topaz, username. Today's date, horribly, is September 11th, 2016. The current time is 0150 hours. I must be doing something right, because I really got stalked today, hot and heavy, at where I work, and I got stalked fairly heavily on the bus, when I was coming home. Having said that, I don't want to make this video just about me. I spoke with a fellow YouTuber about a day or two ago. Not literally spoke, but we had communicated. And he wanted me to spread a video. And the thing about it is, the video is a situation where an individual's confronting basically an Air Force police officer. I think it's Air Force. And basically, she was confronting the individual about our troops getting gang stalked. Yeah, and what I want you to do is I'm going to put aside my own concerns today, except for one little piece of info I want to share. But I want to put aside my own stuff for a while because I want you to watch this video. I retitled it, Troops Are Getting Gang Stalked. And I was unable to, basically download the video and then upload it. You can't really download videos. I mean, I haven't figured out a way to do that. But what I did was I put it in my watch list. And, what it is, I created, so what I want you to do is going into my videos. It's not the videos I've made. It's not my uploads. It's the other category. And the username that I'm getting this from is Jack Mercer, who himself is a vet living in Japan. I want you to watch this video. Today's date is September 11th, 2016. This is the 15-year anniversary of 9/11. And I am really on the warpath about this subject because we are on the verge of going to war with Russia and China. NATO is sending troops very heavily to northeastern Europe and Eastern Europe. The Russians are mobilizing, and things are heating up in the South Chinese Sea. I mean, the Vietnamese have just moved rockets to the border of the South China Sea, and China's on the move. We are really on the brink of World War III. That is not an exaggeration. I mean, it's, Israeli News Now, I think that's the title of it, talked about how Israel was attacking the Syrian army. People, we're on the eve of destruction here. The odds are excellent that we could be facing World War III with a concomitant nuclear exchange. Now, bearing this in mind with this background, I want you to ask yourself two very important questions. Why are our troops getting gang stalked under these circumstances? Why are they being subjected to this covert domestic counterintelligence stalking / harassment? And from the sounds of the video, if the woman is being accurate, apparently bounties have been issued on some of the heads of our military personnel. Multi-million-dollar bounties. And some of them have been assassinated. This is happening when we're on the brink of going to war? Who's doing this? And I cannot really believe that, it could theoretically be the Russians or the Chinese. Maybe it could be double agents. I'll concede that. But given the level of how many vets are committing suicide and have committed suicide ever since leaving Iraq and Afghanistan, somehow I have a hard time believing it's just the Russians or just the Chinese. No, our own government is neck deep into government gang stalking. And I want you to watch this video. It's called I titled it, Troops Are Getting Gang Stalked. I thought that was, it's brutal, but it's accurate. And this is really disgusting. And I think that the people who are doing this, particularly as we're on the eve of destruction here. Sorry to borrow so much from Bob Dylan, but the fact that nothing's being done to stop this is an obscenity. Nothing I know of or that I've heard of is being done to stop it. And I can tell you, I can certainly vouch for the fact that we civilians in the U.S. are starting to get gang stalked more and more and more. We're looking at 180,000 to half a million of Americans who are getting gang stalked. Actually, I should say group stalking. That's more accurate. There are maybe as much up to 500,000 of us that are getting group stalked. Okay? Now, it's one thing to stalk me, little old farmer becoming more active anti-nuclear activist, civil liberties activist. I used to be a very radical feminist. I consider myself a Christian feminist now. I'm pro-life, but, that's neither here nor there right now. Little old subversive me is used to getting tarred with the big, bad, subversive brush. But what are you doing gang stalking our troops? What are you doing here? Is there any doubt? If it's the American surveillance state, and I believe it is, who all, that's doing this, this is being done to our troops as we're preparing for World War III. I want you to keep, this actually bolsters my argument. We are not safer. We are not safer because of this covert domestic counterintelligence stalking. This does not have a single thing to do with combating stalking. What this has to do is spreading terror and genocide among the American people. That's what it really has to do, Pete. We are not safer because of this. And I do not know who's stalking. To be honest, if I have to really retrace my steps here, and I'm going to have to admit, I don't really know who's stalking our troops, but it's going on. And the woman in the video is mad as a wet hen. She's mad as a wet hornet. To the point where she's confronting a cop on a base. Okay? She is that angry. And Jack Mercer asked me to spread this. I'm going to do it. Because over 3,000 people died on 9/11. Died on 9/11 because of what the slips in the radar that our government allowed. Richard Clarke actually wrote a book that said, "Your government failed you." I think it's either your government failed you or our government failed you. But Richard Clarke came out and admitted it. 15 years later, what are we doing? Anybody? Those troops, our active duty personnel and vets desperately need all the concentration. If this country were serious about protecting itself, if the current administration were really, really, really serious about arming America for war and protecting these borders, protecting our nation, we would be having our vets, training our civilians 24. We would be enacting such huge civilian defense and civilian militias, it wouldn't even be funny. If we're going to war with China and Russia, we should expect for a minimum to have 80 million of our men and women armed and trained and ready. Have they done this? No, they haven't. I mean, yes, a lot of Americans own guns, but nobody's spreading this kind of training among the civilian population. No, what are they doing? They're gang stalking the very people who right now desperately need to be left alone to prepare. And that is our military personnel. I really want you to watch the video, and I want you to comment, and I want you to spread it around if you can. Put it on your list. Start sending it to people. This is ridiculous. I mean, this is honestly just ridiculous. Okay, on a more personal note, I am going to be sharing something. All right. I have to, well, actually, no. Yeah, can I do this? Yeah. I wanted to share something. Okay, this is the only way I can do it. Found some wiring. Over the last few days, at my account, we've been having problems with when security is gone, with people robbing a certain area of copper wiring. However, I want you to know I don't think it's beyond a shadow of a doubt. This was originally a big old circle, and it was plated to kind of look like a crown of thorns, and it was left in my path. I don't think it's a coincidence that it's black and red, so I'm documenting it. I bent it so that I could more easily fit it into the video. I also found yellow wiring too, but I elected not to pick that up because I've been demonstrating a lot of this, so I'm just going to figure that people at this point are probably going to take my word for it. This is one very disgusted bird topaz signing off at 0202 hours. I am not the only canary in the American coal mine. Apparently more than a few carrot canaries in the coal mine are active duty and are in military uniform. What a disgusting horror. Thank you for listening.